passed laws allowing for assisted suicide, also known as euthanasia. How do our ancestors feel about this, though? And what are the implications then if someone decides to go down this route? Once again, to help us unpack this and more is our resident African spiritual advisor, Usia Mkhize. This, Sia, is one that I think we all just need to be coming closer for, because a lot of people tend to think it's okay, especially in hospital situations where doctors are saying, vegetable, there's no chance, let's assist and, let the person pass. Firstly, for those that maybe don't understand what euthanasia is, what is it? So
euthanasia is essentially assisted suicide. It's when the person is terminally ill, terminally sick, and they are suffering too much physically, and the pain is too much, and the medication simply isn't working, and the doctors have no idea what to do. They give the person medication, and which helps them pass away in quietly and peacefully. So it's not like it's very different to someone's vegetable switching off the machine. Okay. This is where they actually induce death, and they give you something so that you can pass away peacefully, right? So there's euthanasia, and then you get where someone is rubbish, and then you switch it off. Okay. That's different. And then you also get normal suicide, where you decide to hang yourself or shoot yourself or take your own life. Those are kind of like the three different types of suicide just being announced.
So is this something that is allowed or even practiced in African spirituality?
So it's very interesting when people think that these things are new, right? There's nothing new that the Western world has come with to Africa. These are things that we've been practicing for years. However, the way in which we have done it has always been involving idlozi and God. So it is possible to ask idlozi to take someone's life. It is possible for other people or other family members to request on that person's behalf, with or without their consent, for their life to be taken by idlozi. It is also possible for that ritual to fail. But we're going to unpack all of that over a while. But
Okay. Why do we not just ask them to do it before a situation gets dire? And also, how do you then engage in that conversation with idlozi to say, okay, help us take them away?
Every culture will have different ways of idlozing for this person's life to be taken. I'll give you an example. One of the ways that I know of is you would take imbuzi uyemsamo ushisa and then you would motivate idlozini to say, no, yazini bantu abadala, our son, our daughter, our grandmother, grandfather, whomever, uyagula. As you guys can see, they are not getting any better. We've done everything in our possible means, both spiritually and medically, for their lives to get better. Sesiyacela manje ukuthi nize nizomlanda. Come and collect your son or your daughter and let them join you on the other side. Mina njengenhlokela ekhaya ngizoyinquma lembuzi, I'll slaughter this goat, ngizomdlisa isibindi, right, of this animal over here. Sengiyacela manje ukuthi bantu abadala ukuthi ahambe nje kahle. Right? But at the moment, they're in too much pain. You would then slaughter the animal and you would take a piece of the liver, right? Raw or cooked, but most of the time raw, and then akasona leso sibindi, right? Maybe sometime it happens where the following morning, avela shone in their sleep and they don't wake up the following morning. Or other times it takes 2-3 days, right? And then they pass away peacefully. Or it fails and it doesn't work because they are actually being kept alive ngamabomu.
I was about to ask, before we even get into it fails or it doesn't work, why can't ancestors just decide for themselves, it's time, let's go, Why do we then have to now be the one that is now asking, it's okay, because we don't know what their plans are, right? And we're just like, it's too bad, they need to go. But idlozi also still has something that they are working on.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying that it can fail. So sometimes what will happen is the person is in that position of terminal sickness for a reason. Now, I use the word inkulumo intentionally and not punishment because it's not always a bad reason that they are suffering. With seniors, there are things that they lacked or did not receive growing up, and those actually cause the terminal illnesses and sicknesses. So it's not always that it's it's not always that it's their fault that they are in that position. Yeah, well, it's not always that it's self-inflicted. Some things they have inherited as well. Kwesinye isikhathi uma kunezinto that your parents didn't do for you, idlozi is like, but your mother and father were supposed to do this.
How do we then tell the difference? Because then, Tina, we are looking from the point of the flesh, right? Where we are just like, no, the situation is dire. We're just thinking, okay, no, maybe how then do we tell the difference? Okay, cool. No, actually, as opposed to
people know the truth. People know the truth. People.
But what if they
there's
don't?
No.
It's our first encounter with things and situations like this.
95% of people know the truth. 95% of people know why their kids are the way they are. 95% of people know why. So as umzali, the reason why that fails is because as umzali, you know back then that you were supposed to do and you did not do it. But idlozi, when angeke uzwe if ngiza kuwena noma ngishaya wena, uzozwa nje kahle if kuthinta ingane yakho, because kuyazwakala here in your womb. So 95% of people, they know, but they are in denial, and no one wants to face the truth. That is the thing. So we don't need to sit here and go through the symptoms and the signs of people.
Yeah.
People know. We're always in denial. We think that if I make enough money, if I get enough degrees, if I build a nice house, if I pray enough, that I can outrun my blood. If you are a woman, look at your mother. That is your predisposition. If you are a boy, look at your father. That is your predisposition. It's not a coincidence that the same symptoms that your mother has physically, you have physically. My dad has bad back pain. That's ridiculous. Nami also have the same.
That also needs us to unpack it on another day. Just simply closing in one word, who then makes the decision for assisted suicide in African spirituality?
Sometimes the person can ask for it, right? Otherwise, as umdeni, it would be the elders to say,
okay,
can we all come to an agreement? No, assignments your child.
Okay. All right. That's all we have time for. As you can see, it's getting heated, which means that we need to have more conversations with Usi Mkhize with us here in studio. It's always a pleasure having him with us here, but that's all we have time for now. Stay with us. We'll be right back.